ProWrestlingSheet.com.
Welcome, everybody, to this Collider Body Slam SmackDown Live recap. I'm still recovering from yesterday, as you can tell. Still somewhat passionate. Aaron Turner was really great. Put a gif of Ric Flair with blood on his face. Woo! That's what it looked like afterwards.
A lot of people seem to agree with you, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
A lot of people, yeah.
Okay.
That was actually... it got more retweets than some of my random hot takes will get, so...
That's very nice of them to do that.
Good
Thank
job.
you very much, everybody. Well, I'm your host, John Rocha, joined as always by the CEO of Pro Wrestling Sheep, the man who gives me a chance to host this show, Ryan Satin. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I enjoyed last night's SmackDown.
Yeah?
So, I'm doing good today. You know, I'm going to the dentist in a little bit, so I'm kind of dreading that.
Shit.
I hate the dentist more than anything. Yeah, it's just going to be not fun.
Is
but
it safe? Is it safe?
But I did make sure had to come in here today to make sure we talked about this. I scheduled it for after because I had to make sure we talked about all the changes that were going on and stuff. And we had to talk about the Mustafa Ali show.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Wow.
I mean, last week we talked. I mean, we kind of discussed briefly whether they should bring Mustafa Ali permanently to SmackDown. You were kind of against it.
Yeah.
Do you still feel the same way?
No, I don't. I think
Okay.
I think acquitted himself well. I will say this, though. He pulled his finishing move, and his knees hit Daniel Bryan's, and you heard on the audio him go, sorry, man.
Yeah.
That's really rare when the audio catches the wrestlers saying something as you're watching a broadcast.
You know, I think it happens more than you realize.
Oh, I'm sure it happens
because
more.
I
You
always
rarely hear it.
It's funny because I'm always like, yes, that one was no. I mean, hearing it wise,
Oh,
because
okay.
I'll watch those. I like those YouTube videos where.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those.
A lot of times, like, they pass by me. I try not to focus on them because I don't want to be like trying to figure out how the magician's doing the trick type thing. But that one was a little more noticeable than some of the others. It was on the level of like a John Cena, who was like the loudest person at calling spots in the ring. But even at TLC, I remember there was one point in the match where you heard Becky Lynch go like, bring it closer with the ladder, and then like telling Asuka, like you could hear Becky very loudly like telling Asuka where to go and stuff, and Asuka following. It was pretty interesting. So I like when you hear those kind of little things. I mean, but I like those YouTube videos where they'll point them out, where they really, and I think some of those YouTube videos they raise the audio a little bit too, so you can really hear it.
Hogan calls them sometimes.
Yeah,
those are interesting.
Yeah, totally.
The old matches, yeah.
And luckily, and we're going to talk about the whole match, but there was a SmackDown taping after the show.
Oh, right.
Because they taped all the holiday episodes this week. So after Raw, they taped the second episode of Raw.
Yeah.
After SmackDown, they taped the second episode of SmackDown.
Some of these fans don't mind spoiling them for me on my Twitter, which I really would like it to stop doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it bother you?
Yeah, because I don't want to know until the actual week it happens.
I get a lot of crap for posting spoilers, too.
Because we can't talk about it for like a week and a half later. No, it's different if you post it because I don't have to click on it.
True.
But people putting it on my Twitter, I kind of have to read my mentions.
True. Yeah. I usually, for some reason, spoilers never bother me. I mean, like, I guess something major would bother me, but like, really, to be honest with you, I've never had a problem with spoilers. Like, they never bother me. If anything, they get me like more excited to watch something.
Oh, interesting.
Like Star Wars. Like, I broke the first. I remember when the Force Awakens, when they started filming it, and I broke the first. I was the first person to, when I was working at TMZ, to put out pictures from the set.
Yeah,
and I didn't bother me at all. Like, I was pumped on it. I was like, oh, look at all the cool things there. So spoilers never bother me, but I can understand how they do it with other people. It's a tricky one, but. They taped one after, and Daniel Bryan was okay. He was out there. He was doing stuff. He was doing segments. He didn't seem like he was too injured from that knee or whatever.
Wow.
But yeah, I think it was a great idea to bring Mustafa Ali. Yeah. I think he had momentum from last week.
Seems real appreciative.
And while we were talking about it last week, you had actually mentioned Nikki Cross and how we saw Nikki Cross, but then she didn't get called up, and now it's funny because like Nikki Cross did get called up. You know, so. I liked it a lot. You know, the whole episode. I'm trying to think if there was something I really. I'm sure I'm gonna remember if there was something I disliked. But I do think that there should be a little bit more shuffling around that goes on. I think that positives that they kind of brought some of the some of the wrestlers that we've been complaining about who are in the shadows, out of the shadows, and gave them a spot. I hope it continues. But yeah, let's dig into it, right?
Yeah, well, spoiler alert, Paige is no longer the GM at SmackDown. That was a really surprising thing. I didn't anticipate that happening. SmackDown has been kicking ass. Why is it getting dragged in the morass of Raw?
Well, we kind of talked about it on the Raw recap, that it was a good possibility.
We also said we weren't going to talk about it until it actually happened, and it actually happened. And so I'm upset about it. I didn't like that at all. Paige handled it like a champ, and you always forget she's only 26, 27 years old.
26, yeah.
This is a young person in the business, and she is handling these ups and downs in a public way with millions or hundreds of thousands of people watching. She holds her own in this situation. I love Zelina and staying on character, going. I love that.
And she was talking crap via Twitter, too.
Yeah, of course. And that's I love that. That's Zelina. She's full in. I love that about her. And the other wrestlers are there. If you watch it again, you'll catch Big E staring at Daniel Bryan as he eats his chicken.
And it's so funny because Daniel almost cracks a smile. You can see it took everything in his power. Like they have that moment they both happen to turn and they catch eyes and Big E takes a bite and Daniel turns back and you can see like SNL style where like the corner of his lip is like trembling because he wants to crack that smile but he's not doing it. I loved that.
Big eyes.
I love that. But yeah, the Paige thing sucks.
This?
No. I thought one of the things for me that was confusing about it was like I expected it to happen because they kind of made a big deal about the fact that McMahons were taking back Raw and SmackDown. However, it's frustrating that it's like there was nothing wrong with SmackDown for the most part. Like we were enjoying.
What are you doing? Doing a rah-rah speech for a show that's doing fine?
Yeah.
And you could argue is the crown jewel is maybe the show.
Bad choice of words.
Well, fair enough. Right? Yeah, it's the A show, the actual A show of the
for hardcore fans for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I was mainly talking about the Paige thing, but yes, that speech was real weird because it was like. You guys are going to be held accountable now. For what?
Yeah, for what?
For what?
You script the fucking storylines and who's going to win, who's going to lose. You should be giving that speech to yourself in the mirror.
And if we're in kayfabe terms, also for what?
Yeah.
You booked the show. You plan everything. You make the matches. What are we being held accountable for?
Yeah, it was so ridiculous.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
When he said that,
why are you mad at the wrestlers? It hasn't been the wrestlers. It's been your problem, your storyline issues. Your family is the problem. You should be talking to your dad like that. You should be sitting all at the conference table and saying all of it to them, Shane. That's ridiculous.
It was very
These poor people trying to work.
Because I was wondering, like, who is this directed at? Like, what is this supposed to mean? Like, what narrative are we on here?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand. That was what was Bob. That confused me. Then they're like, okay, now let's bring up Paige. Paige, she's done a great job, but she's fired. It's like, wait.
She'll have another role.
So we're held accountable if we're good or bad.
Yeah.
Paige is good.
Either way, you're
and you
gone.
fired her? Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that whole opening segment was very confusing, I thought. Like, it sent a weird message. Also with Paige, her tweets throughout the day yesterday were so funny. I don't know if you saw them.
I just saw the one with her like going like this.
Well,
but I didn't see anything else.
So she said I'm gonna document the rest of my day after that one, where it said like when she first found out that she probably wasn't gonna be the GM anymore. So when the day started yesterday, she said like I'm gonna document the rest of my day in only office gifts about everything that was going on. And there were so many funny ones. There was a couple funny ones throughout the day of like how she was feeling. And like, if you watch The Office, you'll get a kick out of some of the different gifts that she was using to explain how she was feeling as she was learning different things about her future throughout the day. And I can't really explain them because they're all just gifts or whatever, but it's pretty good. It was good stuff. Yeah, I wish, they kept saying that Paige is going to have a different role in the show. But it's like, what role are they really going to have for Paige? Like, they're not going to make her a backstage interviewer.
No.
They're not going to do that.
They can't demote her in that way.
They can't demote her in that way.
Yeah.
They're not going to make her put on commentary.
Right.
I don't think that's really...
She's not really a strong suit in commentary, right.
They're not going to... Yeah. She's not going to wrestle again.
What's this role you're talking
about?
So
the only thing really left is like being a manager again, right?
Yeah.
And that's like, okay, so... I take it back. That's not the only one. There's manager, which to me also feels like a bit of a demotion.
It is a demotion.
Because it's like she was kind of like a authority figure, and now she's just kind of like going to be following around wrestlers who, and probably going to make her sad that she can't be in the ring again.
The next step up from GM is executive.
True.
Anything other than that is a demotion.
Okay, so I had two other ideas.
Sure.
One is more plausible than the other. The plausible one is maybe like she could be an assistant to the McMahons on both shows. But is that also like kind of a demotion still?
Yes.
Really, even though she's in segments of Vince,
You're
Shane,
an assistant,
Stephanie.
which means you're picking up the dry cleaning, getting them the coffee.
But she's on Raw and SmackDown, and she's not really getting them coffee.
Right.
Like it's not. I'm not proposing that she should actually be their assistant to the McMahon family. I
can't tell. They got their feet in both arenas here.
But I mean more in terms of like a character. Like I think it wouldn't be the worst if she was like.
Yeah.
If she was like the assistant to them, because you could even set up something down the line where she leads a rebellion against the McMahons because they're obviously going to screw it up.
Yep. Because they have already. Yeah.
So you could even like have them demean her the whole time, and you feel bad about Paige or whatever. Even though I think they're going to try and be faces now.
Yeah.
If you want them to be faces now, probably wouldn't hurt to have them with Paige.
Yeah.
Paige is going to get cheered.
Yeah.
You're going to get cheered if you're by proxy with her, I think.
Yeah, it's a good point, Ryan.
So it's not the worst to kind of like attach Paige to the people that, if that's what they're going for. It seems like they want the men to be the good guys who are saving Raw. Give them the one GM that was doing the good job and let her help, you know?
Well, that was my problem with this whole situation. You could have had Alexa Bliss ascend to GM and keep Paige as GM. You have two women GMs on Raw and SmackDown. That would be incredible.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
And, you know, in the year of the Me Too and the Time's Up movement, this would have been a fantastic. And both of them have earned it. Yep. Both of them have earned it in separate ways.
I think Alexa should still be a wrestler.
No!
You loved Alexa the wrestler.
I don't want her to get hurt.
That's the wrestling biz, Rocha.
I know, you're right. I just want to take care of her, that's all.
Okay, so here's my other proposal.
What's your other proposal? Oh, shit.
You bring back Talking Smack, and you have Paige host the after show of Talking Smack.
Oh,
that is not a demotion. She's now hosting her own show.
That's a great idea.
Paige
I like that idea.
and I don't know, Graves. Paige and Graves.
Paige and Graves is a great combo.
Would be a great combo hosting Talking Smack. You know, you don't have Daniel Bryan anymore. You can't really have Renee do it, but Paige really could shine in that role.
Absolutely.
I think. And
once again, she's only 26.
She's only 26.
Yeah.
It's similar to Renee Young, but not like being just the nameless backstage interviewer. She could actually be like a host of stuff. And they have some on the network. If they can kind of place her in a host role, I really think it would help. It would be good for her, you know?
I don't disagree, dude.
Not for her personal life. I mean, like a good place, a good way, a good position for her to fill where she can be utilized.
We saw Corey Graves do that transition from wrestler into commentator, and it works really well. You could see him, and so he could be there with her and kind of be a sounding board for her as she grows in the role.
That's how I look at it.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
That's what I was thinking, because it feels like with Mustafa Ali being brought to the main roster, Leo Rush being on Raw. Drake Maverick being on Raw, Lucha House Party being on Raw, Noam Dar being part of NXT UK. It does sort of feel like they are giving different roles to all the guys on 205 Live. Mm-hmm. And that's not with inside intel that I feel like that I know they're getting rid of the show or anything like that. But when you look at the pieces there and you go like, well, they're slowly picking apart 205 Live and giving different roles to all the guys that they want to give roles to, it feels like, or at least that have shined on the show. They're not doing live events. They're not really, it's been a few years now of 205 Live, which is crazy to say. I think it was like 2 years now or something like that. Maybe
at least.
At least. So I don't think that it's growing in the way they would that it's going to be sustainable forever. I mean, I feel like 205 Live is not going to be a forever kind of a thing.
No,
it isn't. I think it was an experiment, and I think that, it would make sense to just kind of take those guys and let them, the ones you want, put them in NXT, put them in Raw, SmackDown, NXT UK, and then, clearly the WWE Network is planning to launch a tiered system where there's going to be indies on the network. So, if you want to see indie wrestlers like that, you're going to have the opportunity to do that via NXT, NXT UK, and all the indies that'll be available on the WWE Network if they finally, launch that. I don't know. It seems like they would need to have live, and then they'd have the time available to be able to do Talking Smack again.
Yeah, true.
And Talking Smack was so popular. Everyone loved Talking. There's no one that didn't like Talking Smack.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's not a thing anymore. I understand that Vince financially, but like they're making bank right now. Like, they're making so much money. I remember at the time it was like, oh, Pyro's cost cutting, Talking Smack cost cutting. Bitch, you got a lot of money from Saudi Arabia. Just give us Talking Smack back.
There you go. That's how you make up for it. Use that Saudi Arabia money to start a program fronted by a woman.
Don't tell.
That's a good idea.
WWE, I called them bitch.
No. Cut him out. Cut it out, I guess.
Cut it out, Ramsey.
Well, we move on here to something that also kind of bothered me a little bit. The Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair thing with Asuka. Man. Yeah, because Charlotte doesn't take the back seat again. Becky is the front seat driver here. Charlotte refuses to take the back seat. She comes out, has her own, comes out in all black with that H thing, whatever she's wearing on her belt, comes out and tries to go toe-to-toe with Charlotte, and it's ridiculous. Charlotte completely owns her in the promo. And then Asuka comes out.
Wait, Charlotte owned Becky?
Becky owned Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah, Becky owned Charlotte in that promo. It was hilarious. She said, speaking of cosplayers, it was hilarious. Her going at Ronda saying that she's a Roddy Piper cosplayer. Jesus, that was a brilliant line. And then you had Vince come out, and Vince,
he kind of demeaned him a little bit.
He was so misogynistic. He's like, you need to act better, and you shouldn't do that. Really?
Take the beating like a man.
Should I show you some videos of the Attitude Era, Vince McMahon, of what you did with women? Get the fuck out of here with you trying to act better. It was just ridiculous to watch that. I felt it was like, Grandpa, get off the damn.
Yeah, I did feel like Vince.
Enough.
I did feel that Vince was a little out of place in this segment.
Damn right he was.
I'm gonna praise a Vince segment later because The Miz.
That's a great segment.
I was dying.
That's old school Vince.
That's old school Vince.
That's where he should be.
That's where he.
Right.
Yes. This was not where Vince should be. This is like what you have Shane or Triple H or Stephanie do because it did feel a little. It was like. It felt like Grandpa was lost.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, hey, what's Vince doing now? And then like ushering out Naomi. It felt out of place. Like I get it, Vince. You're woke now. Cool. We get it. We cool. You're good with women now. But I don't know why. It just felt weird.
He's so woke. You should go back to sleep. Like it was just like what he was doing was not that good. Him walking down and doing all of that. And even Becky was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
She was. You can see the original. What's he talking about?
Grandpa, go back. Go put on your slippers.
I will say, I thought Charlotte did well in this segment. I enjoyed. Yeah, I don't dislike Charlotte.
They're taking the shine off of Becky, though, man.
I wouldn't put it that way. I think that Becky has helped elevate Charlotte. Like honestly, Charlotte kind of felt like she was going through the motions a little bit before.
Or Becky helped elevate Charlotte.
I think Becky helped elevate Charlotte.
That's the problem.
I don't think
Charlotte
it takes anything away.
At the top.
I don't think it takes. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but I do think that they're kind of like. What's the they're elevating each other. Okay. I feel like I don't feel like it's making Becky look worse or anything or at least in my opinion. Like I think actually she's really helped Charlotte. Like Charlotte didn't have an equal in her opinion. I feel like I feel like Charlotte felt like she didn't have someone that she could go toe to toe with where it,
but why
every wrestler needs like every legendary wrestler needs that counterpart, the Rock and Austin, something along, they need that, and I feel like Charlotte really hasn't had a strong character to play off of, and she's finally getting that in Becky and Ronda Rousey and Asuka to a certain degree. I'm liking this Charlotte. I feel like she's kind of feeling refreshed, reinvigorated. I don't think it's hurting Becky at all. But I did think the Vince thing was a little. Vince just felt out of place there. Yeah. Like it just
a weird comment.
It was just weird to go from like
it was Asuka. You're standing behind Charlotte, and it's like just address Asuka.
and I will say that I think that after these segments, if my memory serves me correct, it got a little less weird. But these were the two definitely in my mind where I was like, are we in for are they just gonna make SmackDown suck now
and make it all about themselves?
Yeah, I was really worried about that for a second, and I think it changes as the episode goes on.
But I hated this.
I didn't like this. I did smile a minute though for Vince, like Naomi's music hits. and she does her thing when she slides out in front of him. And Vince did this thing where like he was getting real pumped on the music, and he went to like start dancing to Naomi's music, like doing the old school Vince like stand back kind of thing. And he like that's I think his name. But like he like starts and then he like catches himself and remembers like he's on TV and is kind of like, and just kind of like, all right, Naomi, and then like walks to the back, and I cracked up because you could see like he got inspired to dance for like a quick second. Like, I've seen that video way too many times, and he like stopped himself. And good job, Naomi. Good job. I like that.
I'm down with the changes if they make the changes work. But giving more time to Vince and Shane and all this and Stephanie, that's not what the fans want.
I mean, look, I will
want it.
I will say this. I disagree in the fact that I think the fans do enjoy when Vince McMahon is a character on TV. Vince McMahon.
Okay, so here's the deal. Okay. But then use him more like they use him in the Miz
Agreed.
stuff.
Agreed. I think this was a bad choice. This is a bad way of using him here, and a good way of using him was the Miz, I think, 100%.
That's what, because he's funny in the comedic segments that are kind of sort of scripted. He's better in that way.
Absolutely.
Walking out like he did.
He's not like cool guy authority to save the day. He's more like funny boss segments in the back, you know?
That's the best thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That whole thing, since we're talking about it, when he was like, I'm asking for your permission to be Shane's partner, I was dying. It was just done so well, and Vince's like 70-year-old man confusion was just so perfect. That's really I think the thing they need to play off of is if they're gonna make Vince a character and it's like we're doing things better, they should play off of his 70-year-old confusion of like the times being different, of things being different,
works.
Times changing, and him being like, wait, what? You know, people saying stuff like just weird lit stuff like that, and like he just doesn't get it.
Like
you know?
Stuff that's actually happening in your households and with your families.
And Vince doesn't get it.
Yeah.
That would be funny to show.
Relatable.
It would be relatable, and it would also be funny because it's like, okay, well at least they're getting so meta of like, hey, we're showing you Vince doesn't. That's why things have been like this. Vince doesn't get it. I think that'd be a funny way to play off it. I think that's kind of what this was going of like you want to be what?
Yeah.
You know,
Shane can't come out to play.
That was so funny. So yeah, I think that'll be the best way they could use Vince. I think.
What do you think of this? Did you like the Naomi match?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything bad. Yeah. You know, I mean, like I like Naomi. I like Naomi too. I think she's really entertaining.
I think you could, but I feel like they didn't have the right chemistry. There were some spots you could see coming, certain moments and stuff like that. I was like, I wanted to see a little more. You know, a little more fluidity to the match, and chemistry to the match. Other than that, I had no problem. But I obviously loved both of them as wrestlers. I just wanted to see a little more fluidity. That was my only complaint about the match.
No, I could totally see that. You know, do you think that Naomi deserves like a?
I think Naomi and Ember Moon both deserve a run on both sides of their respective brands. I do.
I actually think, you know, since you mentioned them, I feel like those two would best be sort of switching brands too. I feel like Naomi is much more fit for Raw.
Hell yes.
You know, like she hasn't been on Raw. That character hasn't been on Raw, like the glow and stuff.
Yeah.
That hasn't been on Raw at all. You know, it's only been a SmackDown thing. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who don't watch SmackDown that watch Raw. A lot. You know, like my dad. I know my dad doesn't watch SmackDown. He watches every Raw. Like, I think that you know, we were talking about I think Ember Moon is like the more wrestlers, the indies, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like she'd be better fit on SmackDown, and Naomi would be a good switch to Raw if they're doing actual shakeup soon.
Her and Becky Lynch would tear down the house.
Oh yeah,
with Becky,
Ember Moon and Becky Lynch
is now, they would tear down the house.
Yeah.
That would be awesome or Asuka. Asuka and Ember would also be a fantastic matchup if you can get that chemistry.
They wrestled in NXT, right? Isn't that who? Isn't that who Asuka's last match in NXT was against?
I think so. Yeah,
it was.
You got to go. You got to go big now in the big leagues. You see, can you bring? Because Bayley and Sasha have never been able to capture that, even when they fought each other. What they found in NXT. So
totally.
The call up is a whole nother ball game. All right, Samoa Joe attempted an intervention for Jeff Hardy.
So good.
This was like uncomfortable as hell, but I thought Jeff did a nice job with it, and Samoa definitely.
It was a little weird because one, it was almost like Jeff was saying that like his addiction talks to him.
Yeah.
Like it was very Venom-like.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I haven't seen the movie, but it's what I picture Venom being like, where he's like the devil within him is kind of like talking to him like, hey, Jeff, go drink and drive.
Go take it. Go finish off a 6-pack, get in the car.
Go pound this alcohol before victory road, you know, like, so yeah, like it was a little weird, you know, when he was like, oh, my demons fuel me and make me stronger or whatever. And it was almost like superhero like, but his superpower is not being drunk, you know, which was weird in my opinion. But I really enjoy everything Smojo's doing here. Like we talk, you know, on Wrestling Sheet Radio, they kind of Jamie and Eli were much more against the whole alcohol angle.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
Because it's a real person who really could relapse.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I just think that if there's any two people who you can do it with, it's these two.
Yeah. Well, Jeff's got a good support system now, you sense. And, you know, with Matt and everything going on in his life. And Jeff's always been a guy that's kind of like off the main path. And so, if he's ready to handle it, then you trust that he can handle it. And Joe's the kind of guy that knows that he's got a good guy that he can push and cross the lines with. And because Jeff does all that weird stuff with Matt, there's like no real like line he can't cross that will affect Jeff. Totally, you know. So I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. I also liked all the people tweeting me since. Jamie did the best on Wrestling Sheet Radio. Jamie did the best Jeff Hardy impression when we were talking about it. And I don't want to. I can't do it justice, but it's so funny the way he does it about how Jeff's always kind of like in a hurry to get out of his promos at the end of it.
Really
you know, and I'm going home, good night, bye at the end of it, you know. And so I had so many people tweet me now because that was like a whole combo. We were dying while Jamie was doing it. We were cracking up, and I had so many people tweet me last night where they were just like, man, I can't watch a Jeff Hardy promo without just hearing Jamie do that now. And I was like, me neither. He's ruined Jeff Hardy promos for me because I can't stop. That's all I was thinking about him. I was waiting for him to go like, no, we're not goodbye, and like run away.
My Uber is here. I gotta go by. What just happened?
Your Uber? Rosa, expecting another hour left, Jeff.
Jeez.
What the hell?
We're doing an intervention.
Are you drunk? No, I'm not drunk. Bye.
Yeah, Joe clearly ruled the mic on this one, but he has to. He has to push that storyline.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea of an intervention, I apologize that I have to do this intervention. It's just hilarious. We'll see where it goes. It should obviously lead to a really fun match.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that, you know, Joe can do these kinds of things and make them funny, you know, because everyone's like, Joe's going to kill you, but Joe's going to make you laugh too.
And I'm sure that Joe and Jeff are like, you know, they've known each other. I mean, Jeff was in TNA that whole time too. So like they have to know each other, you know, and it's, you know, yeah, I'm sure it's not like it's not like an issue with Jeff, so I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. You know?
I wish someone would do a documentary about TNA before Hogan and Bischoff showed up, and then after Hogan and Bischoff showed up, and then what happened after that. Like a whole 2-hour documentary about what it was like before and all the highlights, the 8-sided ring, and then having them or 6-sided ring was it, or an 8-sided ring, whatever it was, and then having them
6-sided, yeah,
and then having them change, like Hogan come in and Bischoff trying to do the conventional stuff.
Well, they tried to redo the Monday Night Wars for a few weeks.
Yeah. And then what happened afterwards and how they had to pick up the pieces what they did. I would love to see a documentary.
Collider Studios, they're here. Let's do it.
Oh, I just talked to Jeff's always looking, Mark's always looking for new stuff. So
hey man, we got a wrestling site, we got a studio.
I would love to interview wrestlers about that kind of
Me
shit.
too.
All right, so yeah, now we've gotten to the moment of truth. Miz going in the back to try to talk to Vince McMahon. Miz dressed as a pharaoh from Egypt going in to talk to Vince. This was great back and forth. And because Miz is so good, it reminded me of the old school Kurt Angle Miz promos where they would have their little back and forth. And Angle was like kind of half dumb about the situation. It was great. Yeah.
You mentioned the Pharaoh's outfit. Did you look at the Aladdin stuff today?
Oh, yeah. Oh, good call.
What'd you think? No.
Here's the deal. I like that they got Jasmine right.
They did.
It feels like they did get what's-his-face right, the kid in Aladdin. But I didn't like Jafar at all. And I
like Jafar.
Really?
Yeah.
And he didn't scare me one bit, not even for a second.
Well, it was one screen shot.
The animated version's scarier than that. And then,
True.
And then
we haven't heard his voice yet, though.
We haven't, though. But the genie thing, that was tough, man.
I think it was...
Respect to Will, but that was tough.
I would say it was not a smart decision on their part, because I read the article. Did you read the full Entertainment Weekly?
EW does terrible covers, by the way. Their covers are horrible. No offense, I probably never worked there, but their covers are absolutely terrible, man.
Are we have to cut this out, too?
No! This one I'll stand by.
Did you read the Entertainment?
No, I didn't get a chance because it popped this morning.
in the thing, basically, Guy Ritchie says that like they just haven't fully finalized the blue form of the genie.
So then don't release anything.
That's how I felt about it. It's like,
man.
you know what? Just show me Jasmine, show me Aladdin, show me Jafar.
You know what? Spielberg didn't show the shark for 45 minutes.
Yeah, the genie is like the thing that everyone's gonna criticize the most.
Yeah, because Robin Williams died.
Yeah.
So people are like even 1,000%, even more so focused on you getting it right.
And didn't you see the reaction to Sonic the Hedgehog a week ago?
Yeah.
People are crazy if you like deviate too far. If you're going to show the genie for the first time and you don't show his blue form because you're not done with it yet, that's so dumb to me. Look, I'm going to see the movie regardless.
Of course.
I love Aladdin. Aladdin's my favorite. Yeah, hands down favorite Disney movie. By far, what I grew up on.
Yeah.
And furthermore, like young Ryan, if he knew that when like they made movies of these in the future, that the Pink Ranger and Jasmine would be the same person. Oh, don't even, like adult Ryan is like, man, that's crazy. That's like crazy. And you're right, they did cast it well. And I will say this. I know someone who saw very early footage of that Cave of Wonders scene that is referenced. It wasn't like fully finalized, and they were not pumped on the look of the genie then either, and that was a few months ago. So I can see that maybe that's why they didn't want to show you because it's not finalized yet. And it does say in the thing that he is going to be blue in the movie. Right. That like at the Cave of Wonders, he's blue when he's found.
Shout out to Boss Logic who did a blue version of yeah. And so if you see that anywhere on the internet, that's Boss Logic. Give him credit.
Yeah.
People stealing that picture, putting up to get likes. You're assholes for not crediting Boss Logic because he did that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it also said in the thing, and then we'll get back to wrestling. Sorry, everyone, but I think you guys all care about this too. You guys saw it. He basically said that like. He was talking about Will Smith was talking about like his version of the genie, and he was saying that he knows that he's never gonna like top Robin Williams.
Oh right,
that he's like, look at like when I went into it, I know that like I'm not gonna top Robin Williams. Like it's an iconic performance, But I tried to look at like what was left to pick off the bone to kind of like where I could kind of inject myself into there to make it a good performance, and so. They basically described it as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meets Hutch.
You mean Hitch?
Hitch, sorry, Hitch. Hutch. Hitch. Starsky and Hutch, yeah. As Hitch, which is a weird combination, but it definitely said that like he's like a hip-hop genie in this movie, which I thought was a little weird too. I didn't like that. I was like, and it sounds to me like from reading the article, and it didn't completely specify this, but it sounds like his Will Smith song from the movie is gonna be "Friend Like Me." The whole it's good, and then it's gonna be a rap song.
Okay,
which I didn't love necessarily because how's a rap song in this movie from what time period?
Would The Rock have been better? I feel like The Rock would have been better.
It's not a bad choice.
He's sung before and he doesn't sing great, but he certainly can sing.
I think you need someone real fast talking. You got to have a quick talker. I was trying to think today of who I thought would be a good one. That's tough because Robin Williams is such like an iconic,
he really made it his own,
and he's such a good. It's tough because there's, what I was thinking is Jim Carrey.
In his heyday, Jim Carrey would have been fantastic.
Now, not necessarily as much.
He's got a lot of stuff
because he's not like that anymore. No, but he would have been good back in the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
because he could have made anachronistic references like Robin did. Effortlessly.
I can't think of maybe like a Billy Eichner or something like that, because he can make weird references, but I don't think it's
butts in seats.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. But he's not necessarily like the star performance, the star of a show.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry everyone. No, sorry, I had all these thoughts in my head. I'm sorry.
Well, the guy who does put butts in seats, The Miz, he went up there, talked to Shane, tried to talk to Vince rather to try to get Shane to come out and join and be a tag team. It was really funny, the back and forth, and we've referenced it a number of times here. Really funny stuff between them both. Great timing on and Vince is making full use of this. Yeah, this looking around thing as he's listening to everybody. I kind of like that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. No, I like the segment. Great use of Vince, great use of Miz. Literally the only entertaining part of this entire best in the world storyline between Shane and Miz.
I would agree.
And Shane wasn't in the segment.
Oh, boy. Well, then Miz came out with, Miz came out with Rose. Mandy Rose in this like mixed match challenge thing. And Fabulous came out, Carmela with R-Truth. Man, I can't believe how much I enjoy Carmela now. It's so, as much as I killed her, I absolutely love her now. She's really found her spot with this. She's really made it work for her, and that kudos to Carmela for making it work for her. She's turned. I think she's turned all the fans around her who were having issues with her.
I think so too.
She's turned them all around, and they're like fans of her, and she's really cool at it. And she seems like a genuinely cool person when she's playing this role. So it makes you want to cheer for her.
Absolutely, I think that. It's weird how you forget that how hated and booed she was just like a couple months ago.
Yep.
She's really turned it around.
Yeah. Who knew R-Truth, man? Who knew?
To where I even think that come after WrestleMania, she'll probably get another title run.
Maybe.
And probably as a face this time.
As a face.
Yeah.
Certainly possible.
And I feel like no one will have a problem with it this time.
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
No.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, totally. The dance break thing people like, it's... somehow R-Truth is able to reinvent himself again.
God damn,
it's crazy.
You can't kill him. He's the Michael Myers of wrestling.
It really is. Nice to see Miz and R-Truth do stuff together.
Yeah. I like the Maurice reference. That was hilarious. You saw that come. At some point, he's going to have to actually face Maurice.
Oh, yeah.
And lose.
Yeah.
And which will be great. Which will be genius.
And it's cool to see Mandy getting used.
Yeah. She's they're pushing her, man.
Yeah. No, she's definitely getting the push. It's really hard around this time because it's like, firm pushes aren't going to happen for anyone except for the top people,
right?
And so it's like it's always hard in this kind of now we've had this argument on the show on Wrestling Sheet Radio all the time.
Oh, really?
But the road to WrestleMania is approaching.
Yes, it is.
I always say that we're on the road to WrestleMania. Now we're on the road to WrestleMania because Royal Rumbles, whatever. But Jamie says the road to WrestleMania doesn't start until after the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
It's.
I'm still on the on ramp.
We're on the on-ramp to WrestleMania.
At least I am.
Okay.
You guys may already be on the road. I'm a little bit behind.
No, we're on the on-ramp. That sounds right.
I don't start looking towards WrestleMania until the calendar year turns.
Okay.
I don't.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, I wait, and then, because stuff gets fleshed out, and especially now talking all these changes and new matchups, there's no point at this point.
That's a very good call. It's funny. A lot of people were in the comment section of YouTube on the Raw recap were mad at you saying that, us, not me.
No, it's all right.
Not you.
I don't mind them being mad at me.
It was us. Okay. I shouldn't just throw the blame on you.
I can handle it.
No, it was more like, well, guys, the changes aren't going to happen immediately. You got to wait. So there was I saw all of you saying that, and you're right. You're right. But I do think that the reason we said that was because it's one thing to it's because they straight up said we're going to make changes and then did the same thing. That's where the disconnect is.
Have you ever worked for a company? When they fire you, they don't go, we got to wait 2 weeks, then we'll make the changes. They fire you on the spot. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. And so I get what the fans were saying, but they own the company. And if they wanted to change the storylines, especially after doing that big announcement at the beginning, they could have absolutely changed all the storylines like that. Exactly. Like Ryan said, and brought out whole new things, started a whole new thing. And they could have absolutely done all of that. Having one person come out and start saying some stuff, the other person comes out, interrupts them, boom, you've got a feud. Everything could have changed. So yes, they could. You can hide behind they're taking their time. But honestly, if they really wanted to make the full changes, they'd have done it right on that night. That's what the point of it all is. Ryan is right to say you guys have a point, but I don't know. I agree with it. I don't. I think you can make any. If you own something, you can make any changes you want. Whenever you want.
I'm on you. I agree with you more on that.
Well, there we go. Well, your boys came out here, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. You mentioned the club.
So happy.
I know you tweeted about it. I
was so happy. I was sitting there saying to myself, dude, if they're giving all these people a chance, they're announcing Mustafa Ali's part of the roster. I think that already happened by this point.
Yep. They announced it.
Yeah, I'm but they better pull out the club from whatever corner they're sitting in the fucking backstage area of catering, or it's stupid. They're one of the best tag teams out there. They're great. They're super popular. They're crazy over.
Yeah.
Why aren't you utilizing them? People love them. Their friends that roam backstage. What's the deal?
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed. And then when their music hit, I was like, yes, okay, don't have to be pissed about this.
And they did a nice promo coming down, basically echoing what you just said.
Yeah,
like we was sitting out there, everybody's getting these chances. What the hell? We've been on the show in 4 months.
That's crazy. They hadn't been on shows since August. That's crazy, man. Like they're such a good tag team, and even probably. I would, and I don't remember off the top of my head, but even August, I feel like prior to August, it was probably another long stretch.
Yeah.
If not, maybe a couple episodes they had in there, and then it was a long stretch or whatever. But like, I feel like, man, they need to do something with these guys. Like, I think this match showed that. You know, it was a good match. It
was a good match.
Good match.
The Usos great again.
Usos great as always.
I can't be going. Big fan of Usos.
Yeah, Usos great as always. Club killed it. Good seeing Sanity back at the end of it. Nice. We haven't seen Sanity in forever.
That was great. Exactly
that was
what
nice.
You were talking about, like, where are they? Where have they been? Where have they been? They came in and they laid, and the bar looked like, oh crap, what do we do? And then they go, well, we'll just go pick up the bone. We'll beat on the bone some more, which meant nothing. So now I like this because now you have the bar, you have the club, you have Sanity, and you have the Usos here. This is a nice little foursome.
Too many tag teams? Is that five? Is it 5 tag teams?
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. If the division was crap before, give me this to liven it up.
But the SmackDown division wasn't really the tag division wasn't crap as it was. Not like it was bad.
It was New Day. It was Bar or New Day.
It was a lot of those same 3 tag teams.
Yeah. So I like that this puts a little variety in there. You can create some rivalries that'll be fun to watch. You could have some 8-man tags that'll be interesting. So things like that, as pay-per-views come on. I'm just happy they're getting some screen time. You know?
I would honestly. I think it would be,
especially Sanity, man.
Yes, I think that it would be fruitful for everyone involved. That's a good word. It would be fruitful for everyone involved if the New Day were taken out of the tag division and all used as singles wrestlers,
just for a little bit,
not broken up.
No,
but just like let Big E wrestle in the United States title area, or even in the main event,
Rusev,
or even in the main event. Put him in the main event title program against Daniel Bryan. People would be into it.
Hell yes.
No, I know. I'm talking about like after WrestleMania here because obviously we've got a few months ahead here. But like, I do think it would be best to like start using them as singles guys.
Is Elimination Chamber after WrestleMania?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up. I don't know off the top of my head.
All right. I want to look it up because
there's so many pay-per-views. It's hard to keep track.
I know.
But yeah, I just think that, you could use Kofi in the U.S. title division. You could use Xavier Woods anywhere. Like, they're all 3 good singles wrestlers, too. Like, I just feel like I just feel like we have all these other tag teams that aren't being used, and I like the New Day, but I just think those characters could help get other people, other segments of the show over, and there are people to support that in the tag team division to let them do that, let them go have their singles fun.
Well, Royal Rumble's on January 27th. Then Elimination Chamber is in February.
This is before WrestleMania.
Yeah, these are all before WrestleMania. Then Fastlane, and then WrestleMania in April. So this is interesting. Elimination Chamber is where you could throw Big E with Daniel Bryan, with AJ, with all. Like, you can put
That's
them
a good
all,
point.
and then see who comes out with the title. That'd be awesome.
I like Big E being involved in the Elimination Chamber for sure.
I'd like to do Elimination Chamber or Schmodown. That'd be awesome. Like, you're in a room, you got to break out, and then boom, you got to answer as many questions as possible. And if you don't, you're eliminated. The next guy comes up. I love this idea.
They're not going to build that set here. Trust me. I'm trying to get fucking curtains.
You better cut this out. All right,
no. Yeah, they're not going to build you an elimination chamber. I'm not saying there's not a budget here. I'm just saying Mark's not gonna build you an elimination chamber for Schmodown.
Damn it.
You're gonna have to sell a lot of Patreon fucking subscriptions if you want Christian to have his own elimination chamber. Is all I'm saying.
Dad and I will build it. I'll go get the materials. Dad likes to build shit. He'll build it.
The curtain thing's on me. I just gotta probably go buy them.
That's probably right. Go to Target. All right. So then we had this promo with Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. Rusev I guess it was cool, with the whole like arms and all that kind of.
You don't like his promos when he's doing that?
I guess so, but Lana's is just an accoutrement, man. She's not saying anything. She's just standing there. What do you mean, well?
Well, I mean,
you push her for so long.
Well, I think that the difference being is that like Lana's a heat seeker. Like Lana gets heat. You don't need Lana to like get you cheers.
Right.
Lana's your heat seeker. Point, she's your heat seeking missile over there. So like I think when you're face, you're like, hey, look at my beautiful wife.
Right.
Look how hot I am. Look at these muscles. Look how cool I am. I don't know. That makes sense to me. Like
that's fair.
I think people like Rusev. I don't think that like. I just think it's people. I think they're trying to show that he's very charismatic right now.
He is.
They're trying to get over the fact that like you already know he's this brute of a man, but he's also super charismatic.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't watch Total Divas? Here's all the clips of him on Total Divas and stuff.
Nakamura used it to try to denigrate him, in essence, question his masculinity. Which WWE does all the time. And but I think it kind of backfired.
I thought so too.
He came off like really interesting, and like it reminded me of when the Big Show when he's allowed to do comedic segments. The Big Show is fantastically funny, and so the Rusev was really funny in the way he was walking around naked doing things that he was doing.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, who's gonna boo Rusev because he barbecued naked in his backyard? That's that's just tough guy stuff.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't barbecue naked. That sounds just like too close for comfort, you know? Like, so yeah, no. And I watch Total Divas, so I know how funny he is on there. So I was like, when I was watching, I was like, this is. If anything, this is just going to help people cheer him more, which I think was the actual point. Even though Nakamura was trying to use it as like a negative, I think that was the point.
Yeah, it was.
And it was successful, I think.
I think so too. Yeah. Good point. And so, all right, then we'll see. That's going to coming down the pike. I guess that maybe they're fighting next week or something like that. I don't know. I've heard some rumors that they're fighting next week.
I don't.
Yeah, we don't want to say anything. Daniel. Well, then we go.
Mr. No spoilers over here.
I'm just saying. Daniel Bryan and Cien Almas. Cien Almas getting a little bit of a run. Another guy we hadn't seen in a few weeks now getting on to do and the main event of the show.
You know what's interesting is that I feel like we complained about the two of us and
Ryan,
wrestling fans as a whole.
We pointed out.
No,
we didn't complain.
I think we complained. but I wasn't just the two of us. I think wrestling fans as a whole have been complaining about no Andrade on the show.
Yeah, damn right.
But you know what? I was thinking about it last night when I was watching this, and I was thinking to myself, I think the reason he wasn't on the show is because they actually value him more than people realize.
Okay.
And that they were like, we don't want to just put him in throwaway stuff. This is not inside info, but this is just what I was thinking while watching. I was thinking to myself, like, the times they have used him, they have used him well. It's not like they're using him bad. Maybe right in the beginning.
The Sin Cara stuff.
I was gonna say right at the beginning when the Sin Cara stuff wasn't great. Since then, I feel like he's been used pretty well. When he's used
the Daniel Bryan stuff,
AJ Styles, like they've used him as like a good wrestler who they know can like go against main event talent and put on a good caliber match and maybe not lose but still shine.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I think that they see big things for him and that they don't want to just have him jobbing out 50-50 status like some of the other guys. Like, I think that they were like, you know what? He's going to be losing sometimes, but he's losing to main eventers. Like, he's not losing to, Nakamura or I'm going to use that as an example and someone's going to point out to me that he lost to Nakamura. But I don't think he did. I don't but regardless, like, I think that to me, it feels like they actually do value him more than it seemed because they weren't using him. I think the lack of using him was intentional, not because that's how it seemed to me. Yeah, especially like the times they've used.
That's a great argument.
Daniel, AJ, now he's in the main event again with the two of them. Like former NXT champion, and Triple H's whole like thing that he always mentions in these calls with the media or when he's doing interviews, he'll talk about how he believes that you don't have to have all your wrestlers on every show, that you can use them, here and there, and that it will build that anticipation for when they are going to be there, And obviously he says this because he has to film a taped show. That, I'm sure that backs into why he's saying that. But at the same time, like he keeps talking about like he's a firm believer in like, shuffling people in and out. Yeah. Using these people for a few weeks, then shuffling them out, and then bringing them back, and kind of like
who catches on. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what they're doing with Andrade a little bit, is like they're kind of like bringing him in, bringing him out, bringing him. And I don't think it's necessarily bad for Andrade, especially because like he's rubbing elbows with like really top talent. Yeah. And this match was killer.
Yeah, it was a good match.
And it's funny because this is one of the reasons why I feel like 205 Live. I think this is one of the reasons people don't watch 205 Live is Mustafa Ali was in that ring and looked no different than all the main eventers. Yeah. He wasn't smaller compared to them.
Nope, it's just another show.
It's like Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, all these guys, they're wrestling the exact same style. AJ Styles, wrestling the exact same style as the guys on 205 Live. So it doesn't make sense to like segregate them to like a different show, like, or say these are cruiserweights when they're the same size as the champions. Yeah. They're the same size as other guys, and they're wrestling the exact same style. That was why I think it's kind of the cruiserweight thing is starting to kind of fade out. It's like why people are starting to care less and less about 205 Live. But regardless, like this match was so good.
Yeah,
this match was so good. I mean, the pairing of AJ Styles and Mustafa, great team.
Yep.
When he did that one move where he kind of like catapulted Mustafa Ali, kind of backdropped him to the outside to land on Daniel Bryan and Andrade. Awesome. I like the team of Andrade and Daniel, too. Daniel was kind of like yelling instructions at Andrade, like, chop him again, you know, and like I thought they were a good pairing. They're both pretty intense. But really, like, man, when you watch this match, and I know Mustafa's the one they really put over, but man, I go like, dude, Andrade is such a star.
He is a star.
Like, you just go like, man, that guy is just like...
It's hard to believe this was a guy who almost pissed it away.
Right?
It's hard to believe.
It's hard to believe this guy was in a mask for that long.
Yeah.
That guy's a really good-looking dude.
He's a good-looking dude,
like, he was like, man, I wish I looked like that, you know?
Right.
And so, he's like good-looking, talented.
Yeah. And he gets over with the crowd.
He's got great ring psychology. Everything's so crisp when he does it. I like seeing that if, like, we're getting... new matchups and new people that if they have bookmarked Andrade as one of the guys who's going to be in the main event scene, similar to how Drew is kind of like former NXT champion who's now killing it on Raw.
Yeah,
I would love to see Andrade in a very similar position where he's just like getting a huge focus on SmackDown because he's killing it. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely, thoroughly, and I enjoyed this match a lot. It felt like you were watching just a little bit of an NXT match, and that was fun.
Totally.
And an indie match, and you enjoy that. And look, you gotta. The thing with Vince is like he takes his time to come around, but when he does come around, he does dive into it. So hopefully, this is a little bit more of the Triple H influence, and I hope his ego lets that go. Like, make the money. That's what matters.
That's what you think. That's what I would always think.
Yeah,
I don't understand people like in power like that.
Yeah.
Who can't just separate like, hey. Who can't separate like ego from money? Like, hey, I might want to talk. I'm making lots of money.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be this angry or have this much control because there's a reason I hired these people.
Right.
I'm 70 years old.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to work anymore.
Exactly.
People retire. Like that's the whole. That's the fun of success is being able to retire is being living in peace.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean he can't be a consultant. It doesn't mean he can't be there and like have his offices. He's the head honcho. He could still be the head honcho and start looking at other business opportunities. There's all these rumors. Well, the XFL is going to take a lot of his time. So is these rumors that they want to go into legitimate film and television production and do real shows, real movies that are not just, Marine 6. They want to do real shit. Vince wants a hand in that. So this kind of spreading himself thin. Look, as a guy who does 95 shows a week, I get it, but I'm still building my resume.
Is recording another show right now as we speak.
That's right.
Somehow.
Every time you see me turn away, I'm recording another show. But like you see them do this stuff, and so I get it, the desire to do everything. But like I also, when I get to, I don't want to be working this hard at 70. I want to be relaxed and chilling out, and hopefully I built something.
A few passion projects here and there. Like I don't want to not work.
Right. You don't want to not work. Of course.
You get bored.
Yeah.
But like
my mom's still working at 74 years old. She doesn't have to work. Everything's paid off. Mom has money. Mom, the house is paid off. The car is paid off. The phone is paid off. Mom is chill. But mom likes to go and do the hair cuttery for these old ladies in Virginia. They've been with her for 60 years, or 40 years rather, and my mom still goes down. She works 15 hours a week. That's it. But she still works because she's like, what else am I going to do? Walk around the mall or whatever? I want to work.
My mom recently moved to Alaska. She's dating someone, and he's successful, and it was like, I'm gonna, she doesn't have to work.
Right.
From the way it seems to me, she doesn't have to work. Second she got there, she was bored out of her mind.
Yeah.
Or even before she got to Alaska, she was just like bored out of her mind, not working in the months leading up, or the few weeks leading up to it or whatever. And she said something similar. She goes, what do you want me to do? She's like, I went to the library to go watch like some PBS thing. And I was like, Mom, you could do way more interesting things than that. You could do way more interesting things than that. Before we head out, I know we're losing time here, but Mustafa Ali, I think it was such a good decision out of all the stuff we've seen Monday and Tuesday of Raw and SmackDown. And all the times they said, change.
Yeah.
Pushing change. We're going to change things. Change.
Hashtag change.
The only thing that actually seemed different that made you think maybe they are changing was the end of all these shows.
Yeah.
Finally, you sat there for 5 hours waiting for some sort of change to feel like it's coming. And Mustafa Ali, I think, was a nice a sign of that. You go like, okay, well, maybe they are. And it's smart of them because obviously the reason they did it.
Yeah.
But I think that Mustafa Ali is a really good person to give that push to give that opportunity to. You know, I think that Mustafa Ali is a great wrestler. I think that he's a great role model.
Yep.
You know, I listened to Lillian Garcia's podcast this week, and it was, man, that guy talked about like being a police officer right before he got hired, and how the reason he wanted to be a police officer was basically like he had been racially profiled once, and he was like, and not so much an angry thing, but it was like, you know what? He was not successful, but he was making money enough to live, and he was like, you know what? I don't like this. And I feel like there need to be people that do something about it. And so he like explained that like he went into the force, that, you know, he tried to do things differently, that he kind of like a lot of his peers didn't like it. He got a lot of crap from people, but he really tried to make a difference. And he was talking about some of the things he would go to do to try and make it so people wouldn't get arrested. Like he was calling people who, this was great. He said that he was calling the mom of people who had warrants, like small warrants, like traffic warrants, the ones that people get arrested for that shouldn't be getting arrested.
Right.
Something dumb that you could have just come in and paid $50 for, but you don't realize it. You get pulled over for something else, and then you get mad. Things escalate. You get arrested. So he was just finding he got the list of those people. Was calling the mom of those people and saying, hey, you know, I'm just trying to check in. You know, we're looking for so-and-so. Just, you know, he's got a very small traffic warrant for a ticket he didn't pay. We just want to bring him. We just want to have him come in, pay it off, and leave. Won't be longer than 30 minutes of your time, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, what? My son, I'll bring him in today. And he said tons of people were coming in and getting rid of their warrants so they wouldn't have to get arrested. And then the people on the force were mad at him, like, that's not real police work. And you're supposed to get him out the that was his. And so, you know, a lot of that was also, you know, some of the things I've seen him do with people that are, you know, Make-A-Wish type people or people that are dealing with sickness or, you know, all that kind of stuff. He's like a real positive light. He also talked about like how he never wanted to do a stereotypical gimmick because it hurt him inside. Like he said that he grew up, you know, in a post 9/11 world, and it was like he grew up around people who were like they hated him just because of the way he looked, and he understood it because he was an American. Like, understood why people were mad, but wanted to change things. And he said that like his first few years of wrestling, I think it was like, he said like 6 years, he wrestled under a mask as a luchador because he didn't want people to know what his heritage was because they were going to make him be like a sheik with a bomb on his chest or something like that. And so finally he did it. He stopped and he needed the money. And so he started doing the Sheik thing. And instantly started getting booked everywhere, tons of bookings. And so he talked about this thing where he said, you know, it started to eat him inside. Of course. So in his language, and I forget which language he speaks, but in his language, he said that he did like a video, and I meant to go try and find it, but he said that beforehand, he told the camera, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say, I love you. I love America. I love everything about you guys. I'm so happy for like the way you guys have treated me in your country. And they're going to boo me because they have no idea what I'm saying. And he went out there and just praised the crowd. I love you, but he said it in his language. And the whole crowd, boo, go back home. And he like looked at the camera like, see, you know? And so he said it killed him inside. So that's finally when he switched to like just try and be himself. And then, you know, ever since. But I think he's such a good positive role model. That's great. You know, I think that, you know, there hasn't really been someone like him in the WWE, I don't think. Right. So yeah, I think it was like a perfect person to kind of strap the rocket to, so to speak. And I think that, you know, he's got a cool look with the light up mask, the light up outfit. I really hope it doesn't kind of like fade out real quick because I think he's a good fit for that main event spot.
Andrade and Mustafa in a main event would be fantastic coming down the road.
Wait till next week on SmackDown.
What? All right, well, we got to wrap it up real quick. We're going to get angry faces outside the glass. Tell people where they can follow us, Ryan.
ProWrestlingSheet.com is where the website is. At Wrestling Sheet on all social media. YouTube.com/Wrestling Sheet. That's where the video is live, where you can see, if you're listening, you can see our pretty faces while we discuss all of this. this. If you're only watching, you can please check out the audio feed as well. We have other shows that go out there. It's Wrestling Sheet Radio on Podcast One and on iTunes.
Yeah, you can follow him at Ryan Satin. Follow me at The Rocha Says. And hey, thanks everybody for the amazing comments and positive words you've sent us as we've started doing these recaps. We had to make, we had made that adjustment from what we were doing before. Ryan was very gracious to let me host these 2 recaps with him, and it's been a blast to have you to read all your tweets and all your comments. So let me say, have a happy holidays. Honestly, be good to everybody. Relax. I know it's friends and family. As stuff goes crazy in the holidays, do whatever you need to do. Watch old wrestling matches. Just shut yourself off on your bedroom and put on YouTube and watch old wrestling matches to put a smile back on your face. Whatever you need to do. But other than that, be safe. Come back in 2019 so we can hear from you as we talk about this.
Yeah, the second you hear the word Trump at your holiday party, just put some headphones on, start watching something watch one of our shows on YouTube.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, thanks everybody. We'll be back next year for new recaps on Collider Body Slam.
ProWrestlingSheet.com